Not to worry!
Oh shit! All of them are casting!
No problem! Divine Toll! Shield in all directions!
And again!
Blinding Light!
Man! How are you interrupting so well?
Well, stick around and you too can interrupt left and right and center like our Lord and Savior, Captain America, by following the talents, rotation, covenants, legendaries, gear, and more!
Hey, you like this, huh? The little funny intros? Obviously, this is just one side of Marcelian&Online, and we do a lot of other stuff. And yes, you might have heard time and time again, if not from us, then from other people, YouTube is not doing really great, at least for WoW content creators. So if you want to see more of this, if you like this kind of stuff, you can consider becoming one of our patrons. You'll see a link to the Patreon page down below, and you can check it out. We have multiple tiers if you find something that you like, and if you feel like you want to give something back. There are perks, of course, for different tiers, different rewards. We usually give out wallpapers, really personalized wallpapers with your transmog. You'll also have access to our monthly bloopers, monthly Patreon chats, and of course, unique Discord access to when we edit and work on videos, so you can actually be a part of the process and see how it's done if that's not boring and you're interested in that. I don't know. But yes, you'll be supporting this, plus the TLFs, plus the on cooldown episodes, plus the podcasts, which are actually right now on a different channel, also linked down below, and pretty much everything that we do here on Marcelian&Online WoW related. We love the game, hope you love the game, and if you love our content, consider checking the Patreon page out. Thank you very much for the support. Now, let's get into the Prot Paladin, man! We will start our Light Weaving Protection Warrior with Holy Shield, a universal good talent in both raiding and Mythic Plus scenarios. Holy Shield is a passive that will increase your block chance by 15%. It will give you the ability to block spells, and every successful block will damage the attacker with holy damage. Use this wisely, especially in situations with heavy spell damage intake. Redoubt is a strong contender for Holy Shield in the raiding scene. It will add a little protection to physical damage because of the extra strength gained, and some magic damage protection because of the extra stamina. The strength provided by Redoubt can be considered as a DPS increase as well, but the physical protection it comes with will help you in hard-hitting physical situations like, I don't know, the hammer from Painsmith. Blessed Hammer will replace your Hammer of the Righteous and will be the Mythic Plus counterpart. It will make you feel like a Diablo 2 Paladin with all the spinny hammers around. In a more serious manner, Blessed Hammer will reduce the damage done from every targeted hit, with the possibility of hitting the same target 3 times. Not only that, but it can generate holy power even if it doesn't hit a target, and retains its reset on your cooldown of your Avenger Shield, again without the need to hit a target. It's a pretty powerful tool, so be sure to play around with it. In the next row, we will find Crusader's Judgment as the default pick for raiding. Double Judgments will help you pump a little more single target damage and healing as well because of a Judgment of Light talent found further down the row. The talent rows. You get what I mean. Add to this the fact that your passive Grand Crusader will reset the cooldown of Judgment as well, so you will never have to worry about the holy power generation ever again. The next talent, First Avenger, will be the best pick in Mythic Plus. It will make your Avenger Shield hit 2 extra targets and will give you 100% shield from all the damage you will deal. Pick this talent and you will feel how easy it is to not lose aggro ever again. On the first utility row, Blinding Light will be the default pick in every situation. It's an extra AoE CC that may work on enemies immune to stun on a 1.5 minute cooldown. Blinding Light will help you in many situations, like interrupting all enemies around you or helping you remove those pesky necrotic stacks off when starting to kite by, incapacitating the mobs for a few seconds. You'll never go wrong with it. Fist of Justice is another option on this row that can help you if your group is lacking single target stuns. This talent will make your Hammer of Justice cooldown be reduced for every holy power you spend. And the last talent, Repentance, can find its way into your toolkit if your group needs a specific CC for mobs you will want to skip or control in Mythic Plus. Looking at you, inspiring mobs. Yeah, stay put for a minute while we kill everything around you. On your second utility row, yes, we got 2 rows of utility, one after the other, deal with it. Unbreakable Spirit will be the most defensive pick on this row. This talent will reduce the cooldown of your Divine Shield, Ardent Defender, and Lay on Hands by 30%. Blessing of Spell Warding will be a very good pick in situations when magic damage is more frequent or you want to cheese a boss mechanic that deals heavy magic damage. The Blessing of Spell Warding will replace your Blessing of Protection and will make its target immune to magic damage. Note that as the Blessing of Protection, if an enemy uses only magic damage, it will attack the second highest threat target, not the one being blessed by Spell Warding. And finally, Cavalier can be useful in high mobility situations such as running with Painsmith's Hammer from the group. It will make your Divine Steed have 2 charges now, nothing more, that's it. What? It's fine. In the level 40 row, Divine Purpose will take the cake in most situations. A passive RNG that will give your Holy Power spenders a 15% chance to use another Holy Power spender free and with 20% more potency. Divine Purpose is a very good defensive and offensive option and can even proc from itself. Seraphim will be the second choice on this row and will be especially good in the raid because of the high DPS it gives. Seraphim is a 15-second buff to all your secondary stats on a 45-second cooldown, and it requires 3 Holy Power to use. Don't be shy to use it when you will need to push the damage during progress, and keep in mind that the extra versatility and mastery provides is a defensive boost as well. Further down the line, you will have another utility row that will come with Judgment of Light, a very good AoE healing in raids. This talent will synergize very well with the Crusader's Judgment talent and will make your Judgment leave a debuff on the boss or the target that will make the next 25 attacks heal the attacker for a small amount. Consecrated Ground will be very helpful in Mythic Plus for kiting those pesky mobs. It will make your consecration larger and reduce the enemy movement inside it. Lastly, the Hand of the Protector talent can be used if you feel you can share your Word of Glory with others when they have lower HP for extra healing. In the last row, you will have 2 options that are viable. Final Stand will be a good talent to take in Mythic Plus. It will make your "oh shit" button Divine Shield taunt all mobs around you, and it will give a very good synergy with the Unbreakable Spirit talent plus the Divine Call Endurance Conduit. And at the end of it all, Righteous Protector will be a good pick in both Mythic Plus and raiding situations. This talent will make your Holy Power spenders reduce the cooldown of Avenging Wrath and the cooldown of Guardian of Ancient Kings by almost 2 minutes. Note that you may want to take the Royal Decree Conduit for an even shorter Guardian of Ancient Kings and a little more healing. For the desired tanking stats, Strength will be at the top of the list, so the highest level piece will be the best one, usually. If you got many pieces to choose from, then Haste will be your most desired secondary stat, followed by Mastery and Versatility, both being equally good. Crit will be the lowest stat you will want to take as a Prot Paladin. If damage is what you want to do, we recommend to sim your character for the best stats you can use, and don't forget to check out our simming guide so you know you will never go wrong. On your weapon, Celestial Guidance will be the default option for the extra strength it provides. If more damage is what you are looking for, then sim. For your chest, go for the Eternal Stats enchant for the extra stats and pair it with the Heavily Desolate Armor kit for staminas. Follow it up with Eternal Strength on your gloves for more armor and a little bit of damage. And with no surprises for the fight speed on your cloak. We are sure that even with 2 Divine Steeds, you are still a wheelchair class, so extra movement is always welcome. If movement is not what you need, then Fortified Avoidance will do the trick. Get the Quick Jewel Cluster Gems for the top stat and the Tenet of Haste enchant for the same reason. Your alchemical needs will find you using the Spectral Flask of Power for the extra strength that will be translated into armor and damage. As for potions, use the Spectral Potion of Strength or what will seem better for you if you need more DPS. For weapons, as a temporary buff, you can use the Shaded Waystone or Shaded Sharpening Stone, which will translate into more DPS on all of your abilities. Don't miss out on the Feast of Gluttonous Hedonism for extra strength, and if you missed it, then Tenebros Crone Roast Aspic can do the job when you feel hungry. With the arrival of 9.1.5, all covenants are pretty close to each other and more accessible, so feel free to choose the one you like the most. Or because there are no restrictions in changing it, level them all up! Haha! Otherwise, we will recommend the Blue Angels from Kyrians as the first covenant to think about. Joining the Kyrians, you'll have access to Divine Toll, a 1-minute cooldown that will make you a throwing shields dispenser. Yeah, I think the Captain America jokes seemed a little bit more appropriate. Next time. Visually is the most satisfying spell to press, but that will not be all. You will also have access to Summon Steward, which will provide you with the Phial of Serenity. The phial will grant you 3 health stones, and the best part about them, for tanks at least, or anybody that uses them really, it will clear all of the diseases, necrotic, bleeds, poisons, almost anything you can think of. Forge Light Prime Mechanicos will be your default Kyrian buddy. He will excel in Mythic Plus, but is very good to consider in the raid as well. With the 2 potency slot paths, you will have access to traits like Brawn's Call to Action, to summon Brawn and knock all enemies around when he appears. Hammer of Genesis will be the next useful trait for the haste buff it provides when damaging a new enemy. Next, you'll have the Soul Glow Spectrometer trait for single target situations for the almost 2.5% extra DPS it provides, and you can even use it for AoE because of the priority damage it can provide you with. The last trait will be Effusive Anima Accelerator. This trait will add another AoE to your Divine Toll and will reduce its cooldown to almost 40 seconds, depending on the number of enemies it will hit. The other Soulbinds, Pelagos and Clea, can be useful in some situations, but they usually fall behind Mechanicos. The Vampires from the Venthyr will be your second very good choice and will excel mostly in the raid, where single target damage is more needed. Ashen Hollow, despite being on a 4-minute cooldown, will provide you with the most amount of damage out of all of the covenants. Doors of Shadow will be the extra mobility spell that comes with joining the Vampires and will let you teleport for a short range on a 1-minute cooldown. All 3 Soulbinds are good in their own way, but we will have to mention Theotar, the Mad Duke, in cases like the raid with little to no movement required. Usually with the 3 potency conduit path, Theotar will bring you traits like Soothing Shade, an umbrella that will boost your mastery by a lot if you can manage to stay inside of it. Token of Appreciation will be another good trait that will provide your allies with a shield when they cast a helpful spell on you. Life is but an appetizer is another very good passive trait that will increase your avoidance and speed if you have the well-fed buff. And lastly, Party Favors will increase one of your stats for 4 hours. In the case of too much movement, for Mythic Plus situations specifically, Nadia will take Theotar's place. She'll provide you with a 2 potency conduit path and will give you access to some pretty good DPS oriented traits. Thrill Seeker is one of them and will provide you with a 20% haste for 10 seconds when it reaches 40 stacks. Dauntless Duelist will be a good trait for priority targets, making them take 3% more damage from you and deal 1.5% less damage to you. Next, you will find Nimble Steps as a good trait for kiting and has an endurance conduit slot attached to it. Nimble Steps will reduce the speed by 10% of all enemies around you and will root them for 4 seconds if you fall under 35% HP. Fatal Flaw will end Nadia's traits and will provide you with most of the time with 20% more versatility or crit, depending which one is the highest. For 10 seconds after Thrill Seeker ends, of course. Honorable mentions to General Draven as well, used in pushing M+ because of his defensive nature and will make you stay still even more. The Consecration never made you do that, so think about it. If you followed up the paths we recommended, you will need to know that the Covenant-specific conduit will be the best and first to consider. So, Ringing Clarity for Kyrians, very powerful conduit that will give you a very high chance to throw 3 extra shields at your main target. Hollow Discernment will be the first pick for Vampy Boys and will increase the damage to the lowest HP enemy and will heal the lowest HP ally for more. For the second potency conduit, you will choose Punish the Guilty. Yes, they need to be punished, I'm sorry. This potency conduit will increase the damage of Shield of the Righteous on targets affected by the Judgment debuff, so be sure to try and hit every target with Judgment to get the most out of this conduit. And for your last potency conduit, Vengeful Shock will be your pick. With this Baby Avenger shield will cause your targets to take increased holy damage from you for 5 seconds. No problem for Captain America of WoW to do so, as you will be throwing that shield non-stop. For Endurance Conduits, you will have many choices depending on the situation. But first things first, the must-have Resolute Defender. This potency conduit will make your Shield of the Righteous extend the duration of Ardent Defender and reduce its cooldown. Next, you'll have the Golden Path Conduit, a very consistent heal for yourself as long as you stay in the goddamn consecration. And finally, more choices. Shielding Words will make your Word of Glory shield you for the amount it healed. Divine Call will be a very powerful pick with the Final Stand and Unbreakable Spirit talents. The Conduit will reduce your Divine Shield by up to 40 seconds, so be sure to pick it if you want Divine Shield more often. Royal Decree will be your last conduit of choice and will perform at best with the Righteous Protector talent. The Royal Decree conduit will reduce your Guardian of Ancient Kings cooldown, so your biggest mitigation spell, and will make your next Word of Glory cost no holy power. In the finesse slots, thank the Holy Light, we have only 2 choices. The Light's Barding conduit will make your Divine Trusting Steed more powerful and carry your butt for a little longer. And Echoing Blessings will make your blessings a little more powerful. In your trinket choices, you will have tanking ones and DPS ones. In the tanking department, you will have choices like Blood Spattered Scale from the other side, a very powerful tanking trinket that provides you with a shield and deals AoE damage. Old Warrior Soul will be the next best trinket from Sylvanas Windrunner in Sanctum of Domination, and it will provide you with a bunch load of haste. Shard of Anhild's Aegis will be another trinket choice from the raid from the 9 boss specifically. It is an uncapped absorb trinket that will explode if it has absorbed the minimum amount of damage and is on a 1.5 minute cooldown. Finally, straight from the suburbs of Castle Nathria and patch 9.0 comes back Splintered Heart of Alar, haha, dropped by Kel'Thas Sunshredder. This will be your cheat death trinket of choice that will explode, dealing damage to enemies and allies alike. In case you are comfortable with your survivability, then Inscrutable Quantum Device will be one of the best DPS trinkets you can find, again from the other side dungeon. For single target damage, you will find Ticking Sack of Terror as one of the best trinkets you can find, and it will be mailed by Mailroom Mayhem to you from the Tazavesh Vale Market Dungeon. And lastly, the king trinket of all melee DPS's, File of Putrefaction from the one and only Plaguefall Dungeon. Your tier 69 set bonus will be godlike. What? No? Okay, sorry. What I meant to say was the Blood Transfusion Blood set will be the best domination set you can use. God damn it, Ian, this was not what we wished for Christmas. God, well, pair this blood set with Core and this, the other 2 damage shards, and you will be good to go in the raid or the Maw or Torghast, because that's the only place the bonus will work. In dungeons, the set won't work, so you will have to take the 3 damage shards, Core, Diz, and Beck, paired with Kir for the extra shields, and Jazz for more health with an extra healing percentage received from all sources. For your legendaries, build Magistrate's Judgment on a ring cloth, usually for raiding. This legendary will make your judgment have a 45% chance to reduce the cost of your next holy power spender by 1. The Mad Paragon will be another good legendary you can use, usually in the raid. Buy all Covenants for the extra DPS it provides you with, and it will shine more if you are a vampire for the synergy with Ashen Hollow. Build it on your belt slot and you are good to go. Divine Resonance will be your Kyrian good to go legendaries for Mythic Plus, and will transform you into a shield dispenser every 5 seconds after you use Divine Toll for a period of 15 seconds. Build this legendary on your belt slot as well, and you will interrupt mobs in Mythic Plus non-stop. For all you non-Kyrian protection paladins, Bulwark of Righteous Fury will be one of the best legendaries you can craft on your ring. For Mythic Plus, that is. This legendary will increase your Shield of the Righteous damage for every target hit by the Avenger's shield. And finally, Holy Avenger Sigil legendary, build on your belt slot again, will be a versatile option and a very good interrupting tool for lots of spells. Holy Avenger Sigil will give your Avenger shield a percentage to reset its cooldown and can continue like that for days if you are lucky. Another range tank confirmed, Blizzard! Yes! For the weapons you can use, you will be a special snowflake and use the 2 highest level weapons from the raid. The Devouring Cold Sword will be one of them from Kel'Thuzad. Paired it with Guard of the Sunder Defender from Sylvanas Windrunner, and you will be the ultimate tank. Not really, but they're good items, just get them. For For your single target opener, you will have to use Hand of Reckoning on pull, aka the taunt. Put and stay in Consecration, follow it with Judgment, then Avenger's Shield, Hammer of Righteous or Blessed Hammer if talented, Avenging Wrath, Seraphim if talented, Divine Toll, continue with the Priority, which sees the single target priority as something like you stay in Consecration, the most important thing, cast Divine Toll, then Shield of the Righteous to not cap on Holy Power, Words of Glory with Shining Light or when you're at 40 to 50% HP, cast Judgment, Hammer of Wrath after, and if you can, then Avenger's Shield, and finally Hammer of Righteous. Take into consideration the fact that the rotation can change. The Mad Paragon Legendary, for example, will put Hammer of Wrath way up in the priority than it currently is. For the multi-target opener, you will have to use Hand of Reckoning on pull again, followed up by Avenger's Shield, then Judgment, then Hammer of Righteous, or Blessed Hammer if talented again, then Avenging Wrath, use Seraphim if you took it, cast Divine Toll, continue with the multi-target priority. For the multi-target priority, we will have Consecration first and stand in the goddamn thing. Avenger's Shield after, cast Divine Toll, Shield of the Righteous to not cap on Holy Power, Word of Glory with Shining Light or 40-50% HP, Judgment afterward, Hammer of Wrath if possible, Hammer of Righteous as a filler, and that's about it. When it comes to your defensive rotation, because you are a tank at the end of the day, Ardent Defender on pull and on cooldown for the 20% damage reduction it provides. Be in Consecration. Very important.
Pray the Lord that I wake.
Shield of Righteous, always up, and use it to extend Ardent Defender and reduce its cooldown with the Resolute Defender Conduit. Word of Glory if you're under 40-50% HP or with Shining Light. Guardian of Ancient Kings when a big hit is about to happen or whenever you need its 50% damage reduction. And don't forget to make use of the free Word of Glory if using the Royal Decree Conduit. Divine Shield with Final Stand on cooldown when surrounded by mobs, and if not using the Final Stand and you want to get rid of those necrotic stacks or other debuffs, a Cancel Aura macro can be very useful. You should see it on the screen, and once you've popped Divine Shield, the stacks will be cleared, pop the Cancel Aura macro, and boom, back in business. And speaking of business, a special thank you to the Prot Paladin boys, Lincoln and Panthea, for feedbacking our script and making sure that the information that we have researched is on point. You might have seen these boys in the Hammer of Wrath Discord, and if you haven't, you should definitely check them out. They will help you with pretty much anything related to Prot Paladin if it comes from more advanced stuff, which we don't usually cover in our guides. Thank you guys, and you can also check them on our Prot Paladin Mocast podcast. Link should be down below. Thank you to the patrons as well for supporting this content. You guys are awesome. I know I talked about the Patreon at the beginning of the video, but we do actually really appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for doing this. And again, the link to our Patreon page is down below if you, the reviewer, are still here and you want to support us a little bit more. Cheers, everybody, and have a great day.
I've been loving it then, I still love it now. Still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. Getting better every day, let me show you how. Cause still, I play WoW. Still, I play WoW. It's getting harder to stay, but at the end of the day, it's a guilty pleasure, so just log in and play. Whether it's classic or retail, I'ma do a /bow. Still, I